Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news tonight on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Ramnath Kovind files nomination for President's post, presents papers in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP Chief Amit Shah and party veterans L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi. NDA's presidential candidate Kovind expresses gratitude to everyone supporting his candidature, says his political affiliation ended the day he assumed the office of Bihar governor. Two people arrested for the lynching of a police officer in Srinagar. Mob attacked Deputy Superintendent of Police Mohammad Ayub Pandit while he was trying to prevent an untoward incident at a mosque. An Indian space research organization successfully launches the Cartosat-2 series satellite for Earth observation. Satellite is specifically designed to benefit the defense forces. Well, the NDA's presidential candidate Ramnath Kovind filed his nomination papers on Friday in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In a show of might by the NDA, a battery of leaders, including chief ministers of NDA-ruled states and the party chiefs of all alliance partners, were present.
NDA nominee Ramnath Kovind filed his nomination papers for the post of the president on Friday. He was accompanied by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP Chief Minister Amit Shah and party veterans, who included L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi. Many NDA chief ministers, along with Telangana CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao and Tamil Nadu's E.K. Palaniswamy, were also in attendance. Kovind handed his papers to Lok Sabha Secretary General Anup Mishra, who is the returning officer for this year's presidential elections on July 17th. 3 sets of nomination papers were filed. The first had Prime Minister Narendra Modi as proposer and Home Minister Rajnath Singh as seconder. The second had Amit Shah as proposer and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley as seconder. And the third had Shiromani Akali Dal Chief Prakash Singh Badal as proposer and Chandrababu Naidu as seconder. Each set of papers had 60 proposers and 60 seconders. It will be a Dalit versus Dalit contest for the 15th President of India. After 17 opposition parties on Thursday announced former Lok Sabha Speaker and Congress veteran Meera Kumar as their joint candidate. Votes will be counted on July 20th after the polling on July 17th. With inputs from Vishal Daya, Pranav Goswami and Navvikram Singh, Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
NDA's presidential nominee Ramnath Kovind asserted on Friday that the post of president is above party politics. He also vowed to maintain the dignity of the highest office in the country.
After filing his nomination papers, NDA's presidential candidate Ramnath Kovind said his political affiliation ended the day he assumed office of Bihar governor. However, he did express gratitude to everyone supporting his candidature.
सभी को विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि मैं सर्वोच्च पद की गरिमा को बनाए रखने के लिए हर संभव प्रयास करूंगा। राष्ट्रपति पद के सभी मतदाता मंडल के सदस्यों से भी मैं सहयोग की अपील करता हूं।
Referring to national security, Kovind said the president is also the supreme commander of all three forces. So the responsibility to keep India's borders secure is of paramount importance.
देश का राष्ट्रपति तीनों सेनाओं का सुप्रीम कमांडर भी होता है। देश की सीमाओं की सुरक्षा करना भी हम सबकी प्राथमिकता होती है।
Besides the NDA's constituents, which comprise over 48.6% of the votes in the Electoral College, Kovind has also gained the support of non-NDA parties like the AIADMK, both Shashikala and Paneerselvam factions, the TRS, BJD and JDU. Kovind is now estimated to have 62% of the votes in the Electoral College. If elected, Kovind will be the second Dalit to hold the post after K.R. Narayanan, who served as the President of India from 1997 to 2002. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the opposition has said that it will contest the July 17 presidential election on the basis of ideology. They have also appealed to all secular forces to support its nominee Meera Kumar. The former Lok Sabha Speaker has the backing of 17 non-NDA political parties after being nominated as the opposition's candidate. Meera Kumar had also said that this was a fight between different ideologies. Appealing for votes, she said it would be in the best interest of the country. Meanwhile, RJD Chief Lalu Yadav has once again appealed to his ally and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar not to make a historic blunder by extending support to the NDA nominee for the presidential poll. The JDU has already decided to back the NDA nominee and said there was no going back on it. However, both RJD and JDU have said that this will have no impact on the Grand Alliance government in Bihar. A senior police officer was murdered by a mob in Srinagar on Thursday night. The incident took place when DSP Mohammad Ayub Pandit was on patrol duty outside a mosque in plain clothes.
Two people were arrested on Friday in connection with the lynching of a police officer in Srinagar on Thursday night. Deputy Superintendent of Police Mohammad Ayub Pandit was stripped naked and stoned to death by an irate mob near Jamia Masjid in Nauhata area while on duty. This after he allegedly opened fire at a group of people who had caught him clicking pictures. According to police officials, Pandit was posted at the access control of the mosque to prevent any untoward incident ahead of night-long prayers on the occasion of Shab-e-Qadr when he was attacked. Pandit's body was recovered on Friday morning from outside the mosque. 3 people were also injured in the incident.
लोगों की हिफाजत के लिए डीएसपी साहब को एक्सेस कंट्रोल के लिए मस्जिद में लगाया था ताकि कोई गलत अनासर लोगों को डिस्टर्ब ना करे, लेकिन उन्हीं में से कुछ लोगों ने जो उनको बचाने वाला था वो शहीद किया और लिंच किया। बहुत अफसोस की बात है। इंसानियत और हैवानियत में फर्क बहुत कम हो गया और अच्छाई और बुराई में लोगों को समझना चाहिए हमारे लिए अच्छा क्या है, बुरा क्या है।
Political parties too have condemned the attack. Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti described the incident as shameful, and leader of the opposition National Conference Party Omar Abdullah said the manner of the DSP's death was a travesty.
एक शख्स जो लोगों की हिफाजत के लिए अपना फर्ज अंजाम दे रहा है, उसको इस तरह से मारपीट करके उसको मार देना, इससे बड़ा शर्मनाक वाक़या कोई हो नहीं सकता है। और खासकर ये जो डीएसपी साहब थे, इन्होंने ये सोचा कि ये इनका अपना इलाका है, इसलिए इन्होंने बड़े दिन की वजह से जो इनके पास अपने सिक्योरिटी के लोग थे उनको बोला कि वो चले जाएं अपने घरों में शब खाने के लिए। तो इससे ज्यादा भरोसे का खून क्या हो सकता है।
Police has also claimed to have identified a third suspect in the incident. Restrictions were imposed on the movement of people in 7 police station areas across Srinagar as a precautionary measure. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, all 45 members of the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha resigned on Friday from the Gorkha Land Territorial Administration. The members forwarded their resignations to the Principal Secretary of GTA. The move comes after an all-party meeting convened on June 20th, where it was decided that the Morcha will withdraw themselves from the tripartite GTA accord. Meanwhile, GJM supporters also organized a protest march demanding a separate state. The hill town is witnessing an indefinite strike since June 15th. The GJM was ruling GTA since 2012 and its term is set to end this month. The Mohan Gising-led Gorkha National Liberation Front has also voiced its support for Gorkha land.
land का आंदोलन के लिए अभी सभी पार्टी का अपील भी था। अलायंस पार्टनर जो भी हम लोग का अपोजिशन जितना भी हम लोग का पार्टी था, अलायंस आगे था, सभी अपील किया था कि जीटे को त्याग देना होगा। तो आज हम लोग सभी मिलकर सभी सभासद जितना भी आया है और जो भी नहीं आया है सब ने लेटर अभी दिया है कि जीटे का औदा से सभी रेजिग्नेशन करके आज से एक साधारण सदस्य होकर अपना लड़ाई में आगे जाके जो है करना करेंगे।
We want Gorkhaland. This is the slogan we have been hearing all around. So now we want to prove a sincerity. That is why General Party have come to the street now, and one and only demand that we have in our mind is that to achieve Gorkhaland.
Well, the Indian Space Research Organization on Friday successfully launched 31 satellites, 29 of them belonging to other countries through a polar satellite launch vehicle. The 40th flight PSLV launched the 712 kg Cartosat 2 series satellite for Earth observation and 30 COCAP passenger satellites.
In yet another historic achievement for India, the Indian Space Research Organization on Friday successfully launched 31 satellites. The satellites included the Eye in the Sky Cartosat 2 series satellite, 29 foreign and an Indian nano-satellite.
The mission has been successful and it has put all the satellites into orbit.
The 40th flight of the 44.4-meter tall PSLV C-38 rocket injected all of them into orbit from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota at 9:29 a.m.
With each PSLV launch, we are trying to improve our capability in one new area, like multiple restarts, multiple orbits, and different capabilities we are building. So with this, I'm very sure PSLV will continue to be the demanded vehicle for going into low Earth orbits.
The Cartosat 2 series satellite for Earth observation weighs 712 kgs, while the 30 co-passenger nano-satellites together weigh about 243 kgs. The co-passenger satellites comprise 29 nano-satellites belonging to 14 other countries. The 6th Cartosat 2 is a remote sensing satellite. It's the third Indian Earth observation satellite for India in space and will provide spot-specific pictures in high resolution.
So you should not always be going by only total weight, because different missions have different complexity, and for performing that you need to consume certain resources on the launch vehicle. So in this mission we have some additional activities which will be demonstrating certain capabilities for future activities.
In a series of tweets, President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised ISRO for its success. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the government announced names of 30 more cities to be developed as smart cities. Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, Naya Raipur in Chhattisgarh and Rajkot in Gujarat are some of the new inclusions. This takes the total cities picked up so far to 90 under the Smart City mission that was launched in June 2015. Of the 40 available Smart City slots, only 30 were selected to ensure feasibility and workable plans. A total investment of close to 57,000 crore rupees has been proposed under respective Smart City plans. Andhra Pradesh's Amaravati, Bihar's Patna and Muzaffarpur are some of the other cities that made it to the list. Under the Smart City mission, the centre provides 500 crore rupees to each city over 5 years for implementing the projects.
The concept of smart cities has refined the urban discourse in our country like no other idea and initiative. In one single stroke, the Honourable Prime Minister has fired the imagination of the people by proposing to develop 100 smart cities. And he has already told us these 100 smart cities are going to be act like lighthouses to inspire other cities to follow the suit.
Well, let's now take a look at some of the other national developments in nationwide. The Supreme Court has backed extension of the legally permissible period of 20 weeks to allow women to abort terminally ill fetuses. A vacation bench of justices agreed to hear the petition of a Kolkata-based woman to abort her 25 weeks fetus due to medical reasons. The court said that the quality of the life of a woman after pregnancy should also be considered while deciding the plea of abortion. The Union Home Ministry has warned over 1,900 NGOs of penal action for failure to validate their foreign contribution designated bank accounts. The ministry has asked over 2,000 NGOs to validate their accounts. Nearly 1,900 NGOs have failed to validate their bank accounts. According to rules, all eligible NGOs should receive donations from abroad in a single designated bank account. CBSE on Friday declared results for the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test for admission to MBBS and BDS courses. Navdeep Singh from Punjab scored the top rank with 697 marks out of 700. As many as 11.38 lakh students appeared for the NEET, out of which over 4.11 lakh have passed. 8 transgenders appeared for the test, while 5 have qualified. A protest by the Jat community demanding OBC reservation in Dholpur and Bharatpur affected rail and road network in the area. Many trains were cancelled and road traffic remained affected in Bharatpur. Markets were closed to avoid any untoward incident. The OBC Commission submitted its report yesterday to Chief Minister Vasundhara Rajya. Time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritan Rai and you're watching Law of the Land.
Jammu and Kashmir does have a special status.
Database should be available for all states.
We are not touching the jurisdictions of the Jammu and Kashmir Collection of Statistics Act.
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, EU citizens living in Britain have branded Theresa May's offer to guarantee their rights post-Brexit as pathetic. They were responding to May's offer of guaranteeing their rights to stay in the UK. May has termed her offer as very fair and very serious. EU leaders too have been cautious in responding to the offer, only saying that it is a good start.
The European Union has called UK Prime Minister Theresa May's offer to guarantee the rights of its compatriots as vague. However, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has described UK's plans as a good start. But Merkel also said there were many other questions about Brexit and there was still a lot to do.
Mr Juncker, are you getting a clearer idea of the kind of Brexit that the UK government wants?
No. Announcement about EU citizenship by Theresa May, a step in the right direction?
That's a first step, but this step is not sufficient.
Okay.
Het was een bijzonder vaag voorstel. Ik heb begrepen dat volgende week we een nota, een schriftelijke nota zou krijgen. Maar we zijn natuurlijk bewust dat de rechten van de burgers, dat is een zeer belangrijke zaak voor ons. En dat is bijzonder ingewikkeld, ook op een technisch niveau, ook op een juridisch niveau.
Theresa May maintains that her offer to fellow EU leaders was very fair and very serious. May outlined 5 principles on Thursday, most notable of them being that no EU resident in Britain at a cut-off date would be deported.
I want to reassure all those EU citizens who are in the UK, who've made their lives and homes in the UK, that no one will have to leave. We won't be seeing families split apart. This is a fair and serious offer. And I want to give those EU citizens in the UK certainty about the future of their lives. But I also want to see that certainty given to UK citizens who are living in the European Union.
May's proposal says those EU citizens who have lived in Britain for 5 years could stay for life. Those there for less than 5 would be allowed to stay until they reach the 5-year threshold for settled status. Those who qualify for settled status will be allowed to stay in the country and access health, education and other benefits. The plan would affect 3.2 million EU citizens living in the UK, around 1 million of whom have lived in the country less than 5 years. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, 4 Arab states that have isolated Qatar handed a list of 13 demands that they say Qatar has to accept within 10 days or risk the continuation of their embargo. The demands include shutting down their broadcaster Al Jazeera that Qatar has already ruled out. Here's a report.
Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries have sent a list of demands to Qatar that they said must be met if it wants the trade and diplomatic embargo to end. The 13-point list provided by Kuwait, which is mediating the crisis, insists that Qatar should cut back diplomatic ties and end joint military cooperation with Iran. Further, it needs to end ties with terrorist organizations and shut down its broadcaster Al Jazeera. Also on the list is a demand to end Turkey's military presence. Qatar is also being told to stop neutralized citizens from the 4 countries, stop meddling in their internal affairs and expel their citizens currently in the country. It has also been asked to stop funding news outlets including RB21 and Middle East Eye. If Qatar complies, it will be audited once a month for the first year and then once a quarter in the second year, after which monitoring will take place once a year for 10 years. Qatar has 10 days to comply before the list becomes invalid. Earlier this month, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates and Bahrain broke ties with Qatar over allegations that it funds terrorism, a claim that Qatar denies. Qatar has not responded, but the list includes conditions it has already said will never be met, including shutting down Al Jazeera. Further, Qatar has refused to negotiate till the blockade is lifted. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, at least 11 people were killed and 20 others injured in a car bomb explosion in Balochistan province on Friday. 4 of the victims were police officers, while 9 security officials are among the injured. The explosion took place near the police chief's office in Quetta when officers stopped the car to search it near a checkpoint. The powerful explosion that could be heard across the city damaged cars and shattered windows of nearby buildings. The nature of the blast, however, is yet to be determined. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack yet.
मैं ड्यूटी कर रहा था सीपीओ में आईजी ऑफिस पे, तो मैं रूटीन के मुताबिक नफली को चेक करने के लिए जुई बाहर निकला। तकरीबन आधा घंटे पहले की बात है। जुई में निकला, बस सामने चौक से गाड़ी हमारे तरफ आ रहे थे, तो हमारे जवान ने रोका, तो जुई रोका, उधर ही उसने ब्लास्ट कर दिया।
Well, here's a roundup of all the other international news in Global Buzz. Republican Congressman Ted Poe and Democratic lawmaker Rick Nolan introduced a bill in the U.S. House of Representatives to end Pakistan's status as a major non-NATO ally. The bill says Pakistan failed to effectively fight terrorism and fosters terrorists. Former President George Bush granted MNNA status to Pakistan in 2004 in an effort to get its help in fighting the Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. Iranians chanted "Death to Israel" and "Death to America" on Jerusalem Day on Friday, the annual show of solidarity with Palestinians, which sees hundreds of thousands take to the streets, was launched by Iran's revolutionary leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. The protests were held against the Saudi royal family and the Islamic State group as well. Taliban leader Akhundzada said on Friday that a planned United States troop surge will not end the protracted war in the country, even as he pledged to fight for a full withdrawal of NATO troops from Afghanistan. The message was released ahead of the Muslim holiday of Eid-ul-Fitr. The Taliban leader said that the Afghan government is too corrupt to stay on and warned of another civil war in Kabul. Well, shifting focus and bringing you news from the Australian Open Super Series badminton tournament now. In the men's singles, ace Indian shuttler Kidambi Srikanth entered the semi-finals. Srikanth defeated Sai Praneeth in straight sets. The world number 22 beat Praneeth 25-23, 21-17. Srikanth will now face 4th-seeded Yuki Shi of China. Meanwhile, in the women's singles, Rio Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu and Saina Nehwal were knocked out of the tournament following a tough quarter-final battle. Sindhu stunned by Tai Shu Ying of China. The world number 1 defeated Indian star Sindhu 21-10, 20-22, 16-21. Well, India is taking on the West Indies in the first of 5-match series at the Port of Spain today. The match is already begun and India is batting first at the moment. Champions Trophy finalists India are the favourites to win the series, but Indian captain Virat Kohli said that the men in blue will not take the Caribbean side lightly. West Indies are currently ranked 9th at the ICC charts. Well, here's a roundup of the other news from across the world of sports and SportsBeat. The Indian women's team dropped to 60th spot in the FIFA World Rankings. Although India did not lose any ranking point, they fell 4 rungs from their previous ranking of 56. Further, India suffered 3 big defeats to higher-ranked North Korea, South Korea and Uzbekistan in Pyongyang. Alexis Sanchez became Chile's all-time leading scorer with an early goal in their 1-1 draw at the Confederations Cup against Germany in a Group B match. Sanchez's goal was his 38th for Chile in 113 appearances. Lars Stindl equalized for the world champions just before half-time. The result left both teams level on 4 points each from their group opening 2 games. Maria Sharapova will return to competitive tennis in July for 2 World Team Tennis matches. She recently returned to the WTA Tour after a 15-month ban. She is even skipping Wimbledon after an injured left thigh prevented her from competing in qualifiers. Australia's cricketers rejected the board's offer of a revised pay deal with just a week to go before the current agreement expires. The offer gives the players a fixed percentage of the revenue from a game. Australia's top cricketers are facing being stuck between Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricketers Association unless a new MOU is issued before the end of the month. Well, that's it on this newscast. Good night.